Welcome. In today's project, I'm going to replicate this plastic part. It's got two tabs here that's been broken off, and 3D printing doesn't help much. It's not strong enough. It will just break again, so my plan is to do a permanent fix on this. And as you can see, the bushings on the wheels has been worn out as well, so need to address that as part of this project. And you'll see there's a couple of intricate features here. Now I'm not going to do the guards. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's got a real purpose except for keeping dust out of this section here. And yeah, I've done more or less this casting. As you can see, looks more or less the same. Now I've got a lot of shrinkage here. It looks like about 3 millimeters in a length. That doesn't really matter, because if you look at the part, the registration tabs sits on the inside, so the outside doesn't really matter. It's only from these tabs here up to this point here where the pins goes, you need to have exact distances. So what I've done on my part here is to make these tabs a little bit longer to cater for any material lost on this side. Because if you look at the parts, my draft angle goes in this direction here. So this portion is thinner than the top. So in order to get this hook registered here, I need to take off quite a bit from this edge here. So I've made this a little bit longer. That will give me the ability to mill this away and still keep my distance relative from these tabs here. Okay, now this casting's got a bow in it, and it didn't bow because of the casting process. It's a 3D printing process. It's a plastic boat, and because of I've used the wrong infill, I used cubic instead of gyroid. If you use gyroid, it will stay straight. The cubic tends to warp a bit. So yeah, now I just need to do a cleanup. My gate was on top here, I've cut it off already. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, I had to stop there. Now, what I've noticed was that the fly cutter was cutting on this edge here and not here, which indicated to me that the part was, the back jaw was, or the back of it was lifting up, and that would have caused an issue with the bottom here. So I had to reset my old setup here, because what I've done is I've placed a 1 to 3 block underneath this large tab that's pointing downwards, and I've put a angle gauge on it. It's one of those electronic gadgets, and I got it level across this plane here, but I never checked it transversely, so there is an issue there. So I've decided to use 2 pieces of stainless flat part that I've got to clamp this part down on top of the vise, because these edges are not touching anywhere on the vise jaws on the top. So yeah, now I've reset it and I've checked it. The levels from between the distance between the cutter and the part around the perimeter looks more or less correct. Now it doesn't need to be 100% perfect. I just need to get a flat reference surface here, and but I don't want it to run taper or have an obvious taper on it. Now the top surface, which is now facing downwards, is not 100% flat either, because of the fact that the print is, the mold print is bowed, but that is not a registration surface, so it doesn't matter. This is a registration surface for the rest of my parts. Okay, what I need to do now is to cut these recesses on the side. Now I've worked it out to 70.75 millimeters from center, and that will give me a total distance of 171.5 between these 2 points. Now I've calculated that I've taken the distance minus the cutter the diameter, and working from half the distance from center to make sure that I cut it evenly in both sides. Almost by the blunder. I was working with a 10 mil end mill, and this is not a 10 mil, it's a 15 millimeter end mill, because this radius here is 15 millimeters. So I need to remove, I must set my cutter to 68.25 millimeters in order to clean up, to get a distance of 151.5. So yeah, it's easy to make a mistake. You need to have full concentration when you're busy. So I'm going to take my first cut and leave myself 1.25 millimeters of meat to do a cleanup pass. Right now I need to make the tabs. So I'm going to remove material from this face, and then there should be leftovers that's going to form a little land there, or a hook. Now from this bottom face it will be up by 22 millimeters, and I need to make the cut 2.5 millimeters deep. They've got a 2mm radius end mill in here. So I'm going to use it to run this edge here and come back to these inner edges. I'm not going to worry about the tabs yet because I still need to mill them down a little bit and narrow them out. Okay, front center back and front faces. And then what I've done is I've dropped my center drill next to the side here, touched it off and zeroed my DRO. Because from this face up to here, 75mm for the pin that's supposed to go in. I'm going to drill a 6mm hole here. Okay, this is where I'm going to end this video, because for the next steps, doing these middle features, I need a rotary. Need to use my rotary table, but in order to use my rotary table I need to make an angle plate for it. So that will be in my next video, because I need to cut angles not only in this plane but also in this plane with the corner rounding on top. Corner rounding is very easy, especially with that end mill, and it's a game changer for me. Now I had a look at did a dry fit of the plate as is, and the hooks and the holes are perfectly in alignment, so that's 100% fine. Now if you're wondering what this is, it's height adjustment rollers for a vacuum cleaner of my mother. Now I can't source this part, and the tabs that it's supposed to hook in here, these tabs there, is broken off on both of these ends here, and 3D printing is just too weak. I've 3D printed the insert here for this side that is broken off, and screws pop, the pin is broken off. Now there's a lot of forces, especially if you bump it against raised carpets or anything of the sort. So yeah, this cannot be 3D printed. So I've decided to use aluminium. This will probably last 10 times longer than the machine itself, but to throw away a $3,000 machine just for a $150 part is a bit of a waste. Only pity is that I can't find this. I've checked it. They've even the dealership is only listing 2 parts, and this is not it. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. We'll learn a couple of tricks as to how to do complex features like these in the next in a follow-up video on this. It will give you a bit of ideas, especially if you need to do features yourself. That's a bit complex and using multiple planes. Alright, until next time. Cheers.